Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Let's today talk about Swagger in Spring Boot, the necessity of Swagger and how does it contribute to building a REST API documentation following an Open API specification. Generally, whenever developers showcase their project to their clients with an high-end design in a PowerPoint, clients see them for a few minutes and the next question that comes to their mind is, can we have a look at the demo? So even if you have the urge to show them the introduction and the working model, which may take a lot of time, clients feel bored and lose direction of what they need to pursue. Nowadays, engineers don't like static presentations and they want hands-on, interactive experiences, especially with API documentation. So how do we simplify the complex system where multiple microservices are involved in a distributed architecture nowadays? Answer is pretty simple. It's an API documentation with an UI where users can try request in the web page and see what kind of data comes back. User should also be guided with what kind of input he needs to pass for a single request in the documentation. We need a structured approach to modeling and describing REST APIs. So that's where Swagger comes into picture. Swagger is basically a set of rules to semantically describe an API with a human and machine-friendly structured format with YAML and JSON file respectively. And also it enables sharing of APIs with a user interface to the clients. The most important feature of Swagger is it can automatically generate API documentation. Initially, the model for describing it was called as Swagger, but then at some point Swagger became less tied to specific company and became part of a vendor-neutral open standard, and they changed the name to Open API. So now Swagger really is a tool that supports the Open API specification. This is the Spring Boot project what we have named as Baby Daycare Service. For configuring Swagger into your project, all you need to add is these two dependencies. One is SpringFox Swagger 2, another is SpringFox Swagger UI, and then you need to add Swagger config class annotated with @configuration and @enable Swagger 2. When it comes to Swagger integration with the Spring Boot application, the main backbone around which the Swagger configuration is built is the Docket bean. Let's look some of the important features of a Docket bean. Docket is a builder intended to be the primary interface of Swagger in Spring MVC framework. Docker comes from a SpringFox documentation. SpringFox works by examining an application once at runtime to infer API semantics based on Spring configurations, class structure, and various compile time Java annotations. Below are some of the APIs what I have got from SpringFox documentation, which is responsible for building a Docket bean. First on the list is API info method that sets the required metadata for the documentation. Let me switch the PPT and the code for these methods one by one so that you will be having the clarity of what I am explaining. So let us go into code how the API info method is built on Docket bean. Here we have added the Docket bean into the Spring application context so that Swagger can expose the required APIs into the documentation. Here inside the Docket constructor we have specified the Swagger version as 2. In order to add metadata to your API documentation, or I can put like in order to modify your header area of the documentation, we can customize and build the API info object that comes from this SpringFox library, through which we can add all the related information needed for your header of your documentation. Say like you can add title of your documentation, description, version, contact with name, URL and email ID, and you can add your license URL, and finally you can build the required object using the API info builder. Next up is the select method through which we can initiate the builder of the API selection. Predicates for the selection of request handlers can be configured with the help of request handler selectors and path selectors. Using any for both will make documentation for your entire API available through Swagger. Here we have customized the scope of which base package which needs to be exposed to Swagger. We are going for com.techwithrads.initializer, which is our base package of our sample application. Paths allows us to define which controller methods should be included based on the path mapping. We can also define AND pattern and regex pattern. Here we are going for AND pattern. This is the pattern what we defined in the request mapping at the top of the controller. And star means you are saying to Swagger to expose all the methods residing inside the controller with a pattern XYZ. Here we are specifying to expose all the controllers to the Swagger. If you want to restrict a particular controller, you can specify the request pattern of that particular controller. For example, users or something like that. Let's go to Swagger UI and see the structure of the documentation. Here you have the header part of your documentation with the document title, document description, the contact details, and also with the license information. And here you will be having the list of controllers defined in your application. Since we are only having one controller in our project, which is our newborn baby controller. Inside the controller, we'll list all the valid HTTP methods: get, head, get post and delete, and others. Get, post and delete. Expanding each method provides additional useful data such as response status, content type, and list of parameters. It is also possible to try each method using the UI with this try it out option. Here you can see the response what we have got. Next interesting thing is we can add Swagger annotations to the controller class. We have 3 levels: controller level, method level, and at parameter level. We will add all these levels into our existing controller and let's see how our Swagger UI is turning out. At the controller level, you need to add @API with properties, tags and value. I'll call it as baby management RESTful services. And value as baby controller. And at the method level, we shall add At the method level, you can add the annotation @API operation. Let me describe this as retrieve list of babies. And at the parameter level, we can add the annotation @API param. Let me indent this. Since I have used Spring Boot DevTools, the application has automatically started. Let's go and check in the Swagger UI whether the Swagger core annotations we have added to the controller class has been reflected or not. Now I will hit enter to see the changes has been reflected. You can see the customized description what we have given for the controller and the API has been changed. And also we have added the parameter level newborn baby information to be created is reflecting as well. Next one is adding Swagger core annotations to the model class. We have two levels here, one is at class level and one is at field level. To save time, I have already added the changes to the baby entity class. Here you can see I have added at API model all details about the baby entity, and at the field level I have added at API model property annotation with the respective properties. Once you go to the model section in the Swagger UI, you can find the description of what we have added on top of the baby Pojo class. Here you can find the at API model property annotation, what we have added on the birth date field and the name field. Here you can see the description, birth date cannot be in the present, and also here name should have at least 2 characters. Since we have added required property in the previous screen, here you can see the red star in the field name. In order to find the JSON representation of the Swagger REST API documentation, you can hit the following URL with /version2/API-docs. Let us play with the Swagger UI on all these HTTP methods listed over here with get, post and delete. When you try to execute the get call, we have 3 baby information here. Now what we will do, we will pick one element and we will try to add a new baby information, new baby element over here. Let's name the ID as 4 and baby name is Roman. And male. So once you execute it, you get the response code as 201, which is the element is created. Let's check if it is created or not. Yeah. And let us try to play with the delete. And we will add the ID as 4 and try to delete the baby name, what we have added in the previous one. We got the response code, which is successful code 200, and once again we will hit the get endpoint. Yeah, the baby information is deleted. So this is all about the introduction to the Swagger and integration with the Spring Boot application. Meet you in the next video. Until then, this is Ratin Maheshwaran signing off. Please subscribe to my channel and hit the bell icon so you don't miss the further notifications as and when I am posting. Thank you.